Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Iole in Los Angeles, and it's my great pleasure today to be at the home of one of the greatest boxers I've ever had the privilege to cover, Mr. Manny Pacquiao. How are you, Manny?
Thank you. Hi.
Thank you for doing this. You and I have I've covered your fights for about 18 years, ever since you came into the U.S. Many big fights. I've written a ton of stories about you over all those years. Which one was your favorite?
I have a lot of favorite fights.
A
Not
lot of-
one, not two, more.
You're fighting Keith Thurman on July 20th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Keith Thurman is an undefeated younger guy than you. He's 29-0, 22 knockouts. Some people are saying the 40-year-old Pacquiao has bitten off more than he can chew. Keith Thurman has been saying that. I get the sense you're a little motivated for this fight.
I like what he's saying to me. It gives more motivation to me to work hard, determination to focus. I love it, and it's helping me.
Keith is, I've thought since he came onto the scene really in about 2012, been one of the more exciting welterweights to watch out there, but he hasn't had a fight like this. And normally he's not that much of a trash talker, but he's going on and talking. What impact does his trash talk have on you?
I know that's his style to talk, trash talk to me, and I don't have an idea. But as a gentleman, I mean, respect. I respect him. Always respect my opponent. So I have no comment about what he's
But the
saying.
fact that he's talking helps you, though, right?
It helped me, yeah.
He has a reputation as one of the elite fighters in the world. Fast, powerful. Break him down. What are his strengths and weaknesses? What do you have to be concerned about?
I saw a lot of a couple weaknesses from him, but I won't tell you that before the fight. And that's weaknesses. I'm going to get that opportunity and focus on that. And I think we're very confident to win the fight.
Some people would say, at 40 years old, you had to have lost a step. But do you feel like you're still the same prime Manny Pacquiao, that you still have the same physical skills that you've always had?
Oh yeah, the way I work hard, the way I train, my speed, my strength, my power, good health. I'm really thankful to God because I never imagined that at this age, I can still continue my career, and I mean, I feel like young.
I had a conversation with your trainer, Freddie Roach, last night, and he was talking about how after the Jeff Horn fight, he had a conversation with you. So that was, 2016 or 2017? And he had said to you, you've got your political career and you've got your boxing career. You can't do both. You have to pick one or the other. That kind of irritated you a little bit, didn't it?
Oh yeah, because I'm a person that the more you underestimate me, the more it's give me more motivation to work hard to prove that I can handle it.
Right.
Yes.
Is that part of the reason why you didn't have Freddie in your corner for the fight with Matisse?
No. We just happened for, but we never kick Freddie out in the team Pacquiao. So we're still together.
Freddie, of course, one of the great trainers of all time, helped by you in all the big fights that you've won. If he said to you at some point in the future, Manny, I think this is it. At one point you said you would always listen to him if he ever told you this was it. If he says it now, do you think you would listen to him, or do you think you would have to seek advice from other people?
I think, yeah, I will consider his, because evaluate his opinion and consider his opinion, his suggestion. But I think he saw from me how I work hard, how I train hard and discipline myself, in the speed. It's still there.
I think a lot of times, Manny, when we talk about fighters retiring, part of it is, you're worried for them and you say, hey, they're getting hit and you don't want to see them take punches over a long period of time. Does that concern you at all, especially when, Donald Curry was at the Hall of Fame and he had difficulty speaking? Donald Curry at one point was like you. He was the welterweight champion of the world. A lot of people thought he was the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And now, 30 years later, he's having difficulty speaking. Do you ever think of those consequences that a very long boxing career might have?
I think you get getting hard for in boxing if you're not 100% condition. If you don't work hard, if you don't give your best in training, and that's what happened for a boxer to get hit in the ring. I mean, that's bad.
Do you think, like, if you were starting to get hit, do you think you would be the first to know, like, okay, I'm not the same guy that I once was? Because everybody gets old at some point, right? And
Yeah.
do you feel like you would know right away if it were time?
Oh yeah, especially even before the fight. I mean, you can, I can see that the way I work hard, the way I train. If laziness comes, then that's another story that you need to think about hanging your gloves.
Right. When you fought Oscar De La Hoya, I know you said previously that in the Olympics, two of your favorite fighters coming up were Roy Jones in the 1988 Olympics and then Oscar De La Hoya. And you were starting your career around the time Oscar was fighting in the Olympics. What was that like? Was it difficult to see him so declined because you had admired Oscar for so long? When you got in the ring with him in 2008, what was that experience like?
That's it's hard to explain because to fight with my favorite fighter is it's an honor, and also even though I won the fight with him, but I still respect him because he's one of my favorite fighters.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, I think, is an interesting story, is that your son, Emmanuel Jr., is getting into boxing.
Yeah.
So he's 2-0 with a knockout in amateur boxing. You're helping him. So sometimes boxers say, I'm doing this so my kids don't have to do it. But you have no problem if he decides to pursue a career?
Well, that's it. That's what he wants. We already advised him. Boxing is so difficult, hard. You have to undergo hard work, training, discipline. I think I told him. I think we discouraged him. I think you have to pursue your school and degree and manage the business that we had.
Right.
And then he said, "Daddy, what I'm gonna do? Boxing is my passion. Passion. That's my line.
It's still Dad's line.
Yeah, that's my line. That's your dad's line." So his mother also, Jinkid, also don't want him to box, but later on we just talk and we have talk and discussion about pursuing to if we agree to him to box. And we decided that, okay, we'll support him. We'll see if...
Here's the thing that I wonder is a problem for him going forward. Not only is the pressure on him going to be immense because of who his father is, but how many rich kids, right? You were poor when you grew up. You had nothing. He starts off as rich as anybody could ever be as a young kid. So can you do the work and do the things that's necessary for a boxer when you go home and, as Marvin Hagler would say, you sleep on silk sheets?
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about, because I work hard, I entered to boxing, I become a boxer because of poverty. We're poor, we don't have nothing, so I'm obligated to box. But this time is different. I mean, how can you be motivated if your life is okay and
Exactly.
And that is the big question, and that's why we are observing him. Okay, pursue your dream. You want to be a boxer? Okay, we support you, but we're just looking at it. I mean.
So, I'm sure you see as you do your runs around Los Angeles, there's a big homeless issue here in Los Angeles, and there's homeless people everywhere. Do you ever look at some of those people and think of yourself, 25, 30 years ago and see yourself in them, because you were kind of in a similar situation?
Believe me, every time, everywhere in the world, even here in Los Angeles or in the Philippines, every time I saw a bomb or people sleeping down the street, I always remember my past. That's why I told them that whatever success that I had in life, I will never forget my past. And I have pity on them, and I want to help them. That's why in our province, where we live, in Jensan, in Sarangani province, you give, I bought a land and make a subdivision, built the houses, and then give it free to the family who don't have a house.
I remember when we were in Macau, China. I think you were getting ready to fight Chris Algieri, and I talked to you a little bit about I think you were building a hospital at the time. Is that up and running now?
Yes, it's operating now. That's a hospital province.
So what is that like for you when you drive past and you see that and you know that it's helping, giving jobs to certain people, and it's also helping poor people get care that they need? What does that do for you when you see that every day going by?
It's feel good. The happiness that unexplainable, the happiness that you feel when you help the poor people. Because we've been there. To have a shelter and food to eat.
Right.
That's the happy that you feel that you're able to help them.
You're very kind as a person, and I know you give a lot of money away to different people and different causes. Did you ever, when you were poor and when you were struggling to get something to eat, do you remember people that helped you and said, "Hey, Manny, here's some money for food," or here's a donut or whatever? Did you have people help you like that?
I always turn back where I came from. The people who helped me, the people that God used to be instrument to able me to succeed, to get this success. I'm so thankful for them because God used them to be part of my success.
I want to change gears a little bit, and you were mentioning, we were talking about building the hospital. LeBron James, who's here in LA, he built a school for kids in Akron. But I just want to get to total change gears. We were talking a little bit about your favorite basketball players, and so we thought maybe you would like LeBron because you live here in LA part of the year. But you said LeBron's not the best of all time, and you got a couple guys you like better than him. Who are your favorites?
My favorite players of all time is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, and I think the second one is Kobe Bryant.
And why do you like them better? You're a Laker fan now, right? You go to the games?
Yeah, because their style is different. They have, we call this leadership in the team. Especially Jordan, if his team is losing, just what he do is give me the ball and I will take care of the.
Is that kind of what you do when you're in your fights? Are you kind of like the professor? You say, if things are going bad, I'm going to take matters into my own hands?
That's another story.
So, do you learn anything from athletes like Michael Jordan? Is there anything, you're in a different sport than he is, but when you look at these elite athletes, or they're Tom Brady, he's doing, playing great football at 40-some years old, just
He's
like
41 years old, so.
Yeah. Can you take anything from those guys that can help you as an athlete?
Oh yeah, being 40 years old, we were shining. We just we believe that life begins at 40.
I agree with that now, because 40 was a long time ago. How have you changed as an athlete as you've gotten older? Like, you're smarter, so does that play into things? And has it made you better or worse having all this experience?
Yeah, to have experience is better than, I think if you're going to study and compared to experience is different. It's better to have experience like this. Every single day of my life, I have, better experience. So I learn a lot in life. So that's my advantage being a person, and that's why I use that experience to treat each other like my brother and sister.
I want to, your experience has been one thing. A lot of your career has been with Top Rank with Bob Arum, and Bob has, of course, done a lot for your career, along with Fred Sternberg, helping to promote you. You signed with the PBC, and at one point Al Heyman was almost like the enemy to you to a certain degree because he was with Mayweather and you're trying to get that fight, and he's on the other side. When you first met with Al, how did your impression change of what you thought he would be like compared to when you met him and talked to him that he was actually like?
Actually, if we're talking about promoters, managers, I don't have personal, differences with them. I always respect them. I have no grievances against them. And back even to Bob Arum, although we're not working together now anymore, but I still respect and thankful to Bob Arum for what he has done.
Sure. But when you look at Al Heyman, like, so you had a perception of what he was like before you were working with him. Now that you're working with him and he's your guy, how has that changed? Like, how do you view Al now? Do you view him differently?
He's a very nice person. He's a very friendly person. I cannot say anything about him because he's really nice person.
What led to your decision? I know Bob Arum and Todd DeBuff flew to the Philippines before you signed with the PBC, and they pitched you on staying with Top Rank and doing it. You obviously had an opportunity to go to the PBC. What was the decision? What defining moment made you say, I'm going to go with PBC as opposed to staying with Top Rank?
I partnered with the PBC because I'm not thinking of myself alone, but I'm thinking about my my boxers. I have a lot of boxers in the Philippines, so I think this is a big opportunity to them to have a fight here in the United States. So that's the reason why we partnered with the PBC.
Well, how many of your fighters this year have fought in PBC fights around the world? Do you know?
I have a lot of fighters. At least we have a slot of in PBC. I think for more than 40 slots a year. So that's a big chance for my fighters.
So it's kind of changing their lives.
Yes. A lot of boxers in the Philippines dreaming to have a fight here in the United States. So that's their.
I guess a lot of people would say, I don't want to get too far down the road because you've got a big fight coming up with Keith Thurman on July 20th. But you know where I'm going to go because who Al Heyman also has, right? Floyd Mayweather. People still want to see that. I was so happy when you signed to fight Floyd because for years people say, do you think Mayweather-Pacquiao is ever going to happen? I was so sick of that question. So now I could say yes. But now the question is, are you ever going to fight again? Floyd is retired. He says he's not coming back. I know you have met him on occasion in Japan, and I know he was in the Philippines recently. Is there a chance you fight him again?
For me, I'm still active. I'm still a fighter. It's up to him if he will come back and fight with me. So that's
him being away as long as
that question is for him. Yeah.
It's almost 3 years since 2 years since he last fought. Do you feel like he could compete with you at this stage if he decided to come back, given being off for 2+ years?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Let's say you beat Thurman and your next fight would be against Floyd. You're saying you don't think he's going to be able to come back and beat you after a 2-year layoff. He wouldn't be at his best. Would it mean a lot to you to have beaten him under those circumstances?
Of course, if he's going to fight me after this fight, he will prepare and he will work hard. He will train hard to get his best condition.
I know Keith Thurman is training hard, working hard, and he's having a lot to say. He's 29-0 with 22 knockouts. What fight of his do you look at and say, that was the best Keith Thurman? Anyone? There's a fight you looked at and said, this was Keith Thurman at his best?
I think before he lay off of 2 years.
So Danny Garcia was that fight?
Yeah.
Danny Garcia is a pretty good fighter in your opinion?
He's a good fighter.
And he's a potential future opponent for you, right?
Oh yeah.
So you have a lot of guys out there. But Thurman, Thurman has been, kind of looking for a big fight all this time. What do you think he's going to be surprised at when the bell rings and it's just the two of you in there? What is he going to learn about you that he doesn't know now?
Thurman, I think my strength also.
Your strength?
Yeah,
And you think your speed will be a factor?
my speed and my experience.
Interesting. Are you? I know you get asked this question all the time. Are you going to finish him in the fight? You had the knockout against Matisse, so we quit asking you if you lost all your power. Now you did a good job against Adrian Broner. Thurman, do you think you can knock him out? He's never been beaten, let alone knocked out. Can you be the first one to beat him and knock him out?
I have no prediction of this for this fight.
No prediction.
I have no prediction for this fight, but I'm doing my best because I am motivated of all those trash talk that he says. So I'm so motivated to work hard, to focus.
I think at one of the press tours when he made the line, "I'm going to crucify you," and I know you're a religious person, and that kind of hit you. It seemed like you tensed up a little bit. Like that one got you more than any other. Did that?
I told him in face to face. He's not helping him, but it's helping me. The way he talked like that, those trash talks, it's not helping him, but it's helping me.
Well, we will find out who it helped on July 20th when the great Manny Pacquiao takes on Keith Thurman. Manny, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin.